Hey everyone, Chris Lewis from Fox 47's Digital Newsroom. We're here again with another We're Open segment. And today I'm really excited to be able to have Andrew from Groovy Donuts with us. We're going to be talking to him about Groovy Donuts, what Groovy Donuts is doing to be able to keep those doors open, keep the donuts going, and be able to share with you their story. Andrew, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
You know, it's my pleasure. I always love to be able to tell these stories, and it's a challenging time. It's a strange time. You know, I don't think any of us have ever lived through anything like this before. You know, before we jump into what you're doing to kind of pivot and make some changes, tell me a little bit about Groovy Donuts. Tell me about the story of Groovy Donuts and how it came to be.
Sure. Well, Groovy Donuts started initially as a kind of vague desire to be an entrepreneur, and in particular have a cafe bakery kind of place. And from that, it grew into a more fully formed idea. When I was out to lunch in February of 2015, I was sitting in the peanut barrel, and the person I was having lunch with said, "Hey, let's go grab a coffee and donut." And at the time, there were really not any local donut shops where you could sit at the counter and grab a coffee and, you know, have that kind of old school donut shop experience. And so it got the wheels turning in my head a little bit. And I thought, you know, there's nothing like that in town, really. There's kind of an opening in that market. And it's along the lines of what I've wanted to do for a long time. And I've just never gotten past, well, I don't have any cash in the bank, and I'm young and have no experience in that field. And I got to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm going to take a shot at this. And within a month, I had a business plan together. Within the following month, I had a location selected. And several months after that, we opened in September of 2015 in Williamston originally, and opened the second shop in East Lansing in September of 2016. Yes, it's been a long journey, and there's been a lot of learning along the way for us.
I've had your donuts, and I frequent your Williamston shop quite often. So I definitely know you've got some very unique donuts, some things that you kind of push the gauntlet on trying new things and you know, having those local flares, which is great. I think that, what would you say that you're most known for now with the Groovy Donuts?
I would say we're very well known for our fritters. In particular, we do several different flavors, including like blueberry. We do a cherry apple. Obviously, the regular apple fritter is always a go-to. We also have one that we put pieces of bacon on top of, and that's something we're kind of unique with. We make them. They're about the size of a plate. I think my partner Monica jokingly refers to them as size of your face fritters.
And I've had the fritters, and if you've never had them, you've got to try them, everyone, because they are delicious. So this time has, as I said at the beginning, been unprecedented for small businesses, for business in general, for everyone. How has this shutdown and this virus impacted your business?
We noticed immediately after schools were closed down. We actually had a fairly decent day of business that day. Immediately following that, the Saturday and Sunday, which are generally our biggest days of the week and the days we really rely on to be able to turn a profit, were very slow that weekend. And that led into the Monday, where the announcement that we had to change over to carry out only happened on that Monday. And beyond that, you know, business dropped 30 to 40% that week. And the following Monday, we got the next announcement, which was the stay-at-home order. And after that happened, you know, we were down 40 to 50% off of our normal business. And we're, you know, edging into territory of, if I don't take a paycheck at all, we're still running at a loss. And, you know, we've had to reduce man hours in there. We've had to lay one person off to this point, and several other people are working at halftime or close to it. So, you know, we're doing a lot of different things to cope with the financial realities of things, and to make sure at the very least we can continue to pay the bills. We can make sure, you know, we're not in trouble of defaulting on any loans. And obviously Congress and the Senate and the White House have come together to put together a plan that, we've got to learn the details of a little bit now. But there's been a lot of uncertainty, and I think that's been one of the more difficult aspects of things, is just not knowing what's coming next, and not knowing if we'll be able to continue operating, and frankly not knowing if we should continue operating, because at a certain point, we feel responsible for the people that come in and out of those doors, and we want to make sure what we're doing is safe for ourselves, for our staff, and for the community at large.
So talk to me a little bit about how the things that you just mentioned have changed your processes, especially in regards to what you're doing to be able to not only continue to create and put out great donuts, but also to keep your employees safe, to keep yourself safe, to keep your customers safe.
Yeah, one thing we've done, which was one part, a financial decision, and another part, we figured it would be best as far as, avoiding having multiple people getting involved in the process. It just makes it less likely something bad would happen, which is my partner, Monica, and I, who had recently moved more into, managing the business rather than making the donuts every night. We've returned to doing that every day. So we are back in the kitchen working midnights. We are the primary people handling the donut making process. And that has allowed us to just be more in control of the sanitizing and cleaning process, and making sure that things are being done the way we feel should be. Beyond that, we are pretty much sticklers for keeping things clean and sanitary on a regular basis. But we've actually increased our policies with our staff, and just in general, that things need to be wiped down with approved sanitizing solutions, not just every hour or whatever. We're trying to do that after every single transaction, and our staff will be washing their hands after every time they handle something that was brought in from the outside. So whether it's cash or a credit card, and that's we feel we're doing everything we can to make sure that everything inside our stores are as sanitary as they can be.
What's the message that you want to leave with the communities that you're in?
Sure. I'd say it's a kind of twofold message. First of which is, make sure you're doing everything you possibly can to avoid the possible transmission of this thing, and follow the guidelines, social distancing, respect the rules that businesses and other areas in town have put in place. We've got markers on the floor separating people by 6 feet apart. We've offered the option of calling ahead and having your order brought out to your car window. I would say take advantage as much as possible of those services offered by local businesses and other institutions, just to avoid more in-person contact. Also, keep local businesses and nonprofits and other things in mind as we go through this difficult financial period, because a lot of these institutions and businesses are often a lot closer, or only a few bad weeks away from potentially no longer being able to keep things going. And it's easy for things to be out of sight, out of mind, or to assume just because folks own a business that they've got a big wad of cash stashed away, and that's not necessarily the case for a lot of people. So bear that thing in mind, and do whatever you can. And it can be something as simple as making a comment on Facebook, or posting a positive review, or if there's a place you really want to support, make sure that they know about it at least, because some kind words, an email, voicemail, a phone call, all of those things add up, and they can help give people hope in a tough time.
Now, if people want to know more about what's happening with Groovy Donuts, if they want to order, where should they go to be able to find out what's going on?
I'd say the best place to go is visit our website. It's groovydonuts.com. We offer online ordering for assortments. We also have online ordering for e-gift cards, t-shirts, and whole bean coffee. You can also reach us at the phone numbers of either location, which is also listed on our website. And you can reach us via our social media pages. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.